Just want to make some follow-up comments to my last video. Um, the video of this woman, you know, basically accusing a man of sexualizing her because he asked her for coffee in his hotel room, which was again, it was admittedly kind of creepy for him to do that, but to automatically call it sexism and to call it misogyny and to accuse him of sexualizing her from his comments. It reminds me a lot of this Twilight Zone episode, and Twilight Zone in my opinion, probably about the only thing on television that's worth watching. Uh, if it comes on, reruns, obviously, I'll watch it. Other than that, I don't bother with TV. But there's one episode where an old lady is afraid of death, and afraid of the Grim Reaper, as in death. Death in this case is personified in a physical being, and she locks her doors and basically lives out her life without leaving her home. And everyone that comes to the door, she automatically assumes that it's death. And so um, uh, when Robert Redford is a cop and he gets shot, and so he's outside her door bleeding to death, and she doesn't let him in because she's afraid that he is the Grim Reaper in disguise. And it reminds me a lot of what a lot of these radical feminists do. They realize that misogyny and sexism is a problem because it is. And but what they do is they lock themselves away from the male species as a whole, and then automatically assume every single thing that a man does or men do is some form of sexism or misogyny. And at the end of the day, all they do is create more misogyny because people look at them and say, "Oh, look at these fucking bitches who are, calling me a sexist because I read porn. Fuck women." And so, I mean, reality, they're just making the problem 10 times worse. And even if what this man did was sexism, even if he was thinking in the back of his mind, oh yeah, I'm inviting her over for coffee, but in the back of my mind, I just want to fuck her in the ass, and I'm just masking my words. To automatically assume that from his comments is absolutely ridiculous. And at the end of this Twilight Zone episode, it turns out that the cop is actually the Grim Reaper, but at the same time, had this woman let this man die out in the streets, um, you know, because she was afraid of the Grim Reaper, would that have been the right decision? Fuck no, it wouldn't. And I mean, I think it's the same thing with this form of radical feminism. Like, yes, there is misogyny. Yes, there are going to be people that think, in the back of their heads, yes, women are only good for sex. But to automatically infer that every single fucking thing a man says to you, or every single offer that a man makes to you, is a manifestation of that is absolutely ludicrous. And I mean, really, it's just I really don't like I don't like the way political correctness is manifested in society. I think at the end of the day, it does not make the problem of racism or sexism go away. It's still there. It's always going to be there as long as people are allowed to think their own thoughts. Which I hope there never comes a day where people are not allowed to do that. But it's always going to be there in people's heads, and it's always going to manifest itself in some way. And when you introduce these social barriers on people's words and on people's opinions, they're going to find ways to get around them, and it's going to manifest itself in different ways. And when sexism and racism is expressed in a way that is hard to it's hard to detect, it can make the problem even worse, and it can make the problem even bigger. I would much rather know who's anti-Semitic. I would much rather know if someone just says, fuck Jews, Holocaust never happened, I fucking hate them all, white power. I'd rather know who those people are. And so I could just say, fuck them, fuck those assholes. I'd rather know that than have someone who, will say things like, oh, Zionists are sometimes in positions of power, and these pro-Israeli curly-haired people, and to kind of work their way around this system of political correctness, in a way that could possibly implicate other people of being racist who are not, is a much worse society in my opinion. And so I really think that radical feminism, political correctness, while political correctness and feminism does have its place in society, the way it is often expressed in our society can make the problem of racism and sexism even worse. So yeah, that's just my follow-up comments.